special goodies for a special car. We are going to be working on the X6 Cressida today. I have new wheels, new skirts. We're just going to start wrenching on it, heading over to Kevin's. All right, I'll see you when I get there. All right, hello everyone. We are, whoa, what is on my nose? All right, we have made it to Bang Labs. And look at that, here are new wheels. New wheels are 14 by 8A in the front, and in the rear we have some 14 by 10.5 B type. A little bit larger than I was wanting. The original listing said 10A, but should still kind of fit the same. Yeah, fitting them under stock arch is no longer a possibility. Look at those guys. Isn't it just a glorious sight to see? All right, first things first. Let's see how poorly they fit and then decide whether or not we want to cut the arch or cut the control arm. All right, so we have decided we're gonna just cut the arch off. So by the end of this video, hopefully I should have the wheels on, arch cut, on the ground. It'll look pretty sweet. Still front end damage. Let's get to taking all the trim off. Pull the angle grinder out. All right, here we've got our arch cut. That may look a little drastic to you, but if you look at old Sam's car over here, he is above the body line. It's common concern. All right, ready? YouTube magic, the fender's just gonna come off. And, you thought I was gonna show you the rear? Not till the front's done. Let's keep going, get this finished. I'm covered in dirt. I wanna see it laid out. I'm sweating. Oh, I'm too good. All right, I know it doesn't look super crazy, but you know, the front is a little taller than the rear, as to be expected with a tall tire. Like, look at Sam's fitment. It's like so much more lower. Anyways, let's do a walk around. Front end still boomed. Oh yeah, and that's a little sneaky peek. I'm gonna make skirts for this. But look at how low that guy is. Full cut. And yeah, maybe a single 1-inch spacer to bring it out will definitely benefit it. Just no inner door. It's all about the high cut. Yeah, this is kind of crazy. We're at the back wheel right here. Dude, it's so low. All right, we're clocking back in for day 2 of making the car low. So today, we are dealing with raising the diff, which consists of taking this bar up here, sectioning it, raising it up so where that mounts is 1 inch higher, which will raise the hitting surface. All right, let's get to removing. The removal of the thing. Let's drop her down a little bit. Whoa. The mustache bar is out. There you have it. So I thought of a couple different ways to go about raising the rear diff, but it ultimately led up to this, you know, kind of easy cut where I just cut the top out of the mustache bar or the crossover bar above the diff, and I just raise the bushing super high and then re-drill the holes again, so it just moves up a complete inch. I was thinking about sectioning the whole thing and re-welding, but after just cut the little chunk out, drill new holes, voila, look, it's all raised and perfect. All right, so now you can see the difference about how much taller it's been raised. More clearance. All right, let's put it in the car now. All right, raised diff is finally done. You can see that, kind of. All right, let's put it on the ground and see how much clearance we have now. Oh yeah, we're good now.
Now you can see how much clearance we have.
Alright, now that the wheel is on, it is time to test what a 1-inch spacer will look like. So hopefully I'm not as sunk, and when I do the metal arch it'll look a lot better. But let's go ahead and take the wheel off. We need to trim.
Alright, so here it is all on the ground with a 1-inch spacer. Way better. Way more pokage. Yeah, so now when I make the arch, it'll come out a lot more, you know, drastically. Not as crazy as Sam's, because Sam has a bigger tire than me, or tire and wheel setup. But yeah, this should be pretty good. Oh yeah. Okay, now let's talk about the front. So the front clearly is not sitting as low as the rear, and that is because I need a different top hat. The OEM top hats don't let it sit down another inch to inch and a half. So that combined with a new tire setup, this thing should be sitting pretty even, but right now I have a little bit of a reverse rake. Can't really tell, but I will check back in when I have new top hats.
All right, everybody. We're back, sitting in traffic, heading back to Kevin's, because I think we can finally end this video off with top hats. I ended up ordering some Max Peating Rod top hats, and hilariously enough, I had top hats from the Skyline. So we will see if the Skyline one fits first, and then if not, then we'll just use the S13 ones. But all right, back to it.
So here are the Skyline top hats. And here are the new S13 ones. We will just keep these on reserve for the next car I will probably buy in the future, and I will then end up needing it again. So these will go into the hoard pile. But for today, we'll just use these, and hopefully this drops the car about an inch so we can get that fender to lip a little bit tighter. All right, let's see the difference. It doesn't seem like a whole lot, but let's hope it does enough. Wrong way. All right, we've got the Skyline top hats on. Full max camber mode. I had to step out the holes really quick. But this side now measures at 1 3/4 inches. Wow. This side still sits at like 2.5 inches. So quite substantial drop. I am gonna need a 5mm spacer because it is a little bit sunk, but you know, pretty satisfied. All right, let's get the other side done. All right, so Sam has now bullied me into putting a 1-inch spacer on the front. So we're going to clearance trim the inner fender roll and then make these wheels poke a little bit harder. I think this should be good. Here it is all laid out. Yeah, so the Skyline top hats actually worked quite well. It dropped it down, it gave it enough camber to even out with the rear. Now the pinch weld is at an even, I think like 1.25 inches. And then for the frame rail, yeah, let's get you in closer. The frame rail, it's very low, millimeters. Yeah, and the rear cut all the way up to the top body line. If you remember, put in a picture again, it was, the original fender was like down there. So you see how high of a cut. I think I'm probably gonna plan on deleting the rear door handle and this door seam. So when I weld the arch, it just looks like, it looks like a two-door long sedan, which could be pretty sick. Excuse the crunch front, I'll fix that later. You already know what time it is for that stuff, but later. So low, I'm so happy with how it came out. Look at that. For the diff, after I raised it, so much more clearance. Oh yeah, and I forgot, I just drove over here with no shocks. Whoops. Yeah. Very, very stoked with this wheel setup and car. All right, well, I hope you guys enjoyed this video, and I see you in the next one. Ah!